Taking quite a bit of the vines out of the way. We found a couple rotten potatoes. I'm not so sure these little noisemakers do any good at all. Every night since I put them out, it looks like he's been in here eating more leaves. And we did have something get in here and eat on some of these potatoes. So I'm not real happy, I don't think. So I'm not even going to tell you where I got those. We'll just chalk that up as a unboxing experience. We only planted 6 purple and 6 of the Beauregards, and they put on so many vines, it's been hard to find the hills. And they're deep. They're much deeper than they were last year. I think that has to do with the, that ain't so bad. I think that has to do with the drought that we've been under. But the purples, they're not really putting on too many under each one. They never did. Last year's hills were kind of a weird thing. But yeah, it's taken me a little bit to figure out where these hills are. And we're getting them like this, looks like. But these are great. These are nice and tender and sweet. See how long these vines are. They just run everywhere. So this patch looks like there was quite a bit more potatoes in here. But with my broken leg, we only planted very few. And even though I stuck my finger down in a couple rotted potatoes, it was kind of gross. That's what we're looking for. That kind of hill right there. And we did get a little rain last night, so it's making the digging a little easier than it was the other day. And actually the other day, that was our walkway. See right there? That's brand new. That was chewed last night. So evidently we don't have enough snakes or owls around our garden. We're gonna have to do something, but that's just tragic. Oh well, going to the mulch pile. But yeah, I could feel a hole down in here where he's been burrowing. Well, we did mark this one. This was that big one. I'll wager we don't get a bigger sweet potato off a bigger sweet potato slip. What do you think? But I know we planted it right here because I marked it. I should have marked all the rest of them. Since most of what I found so far has chew marks on it, and fresh chew marks at that, we're just going to go for the prize, see what we got here. If we got anything. Well, we got something. There's your giant sweet potato from a giant sweet potato slip. Let's see if we got anything else. Well, that's going down. Okay, here's the root. Here's our tap root off that giant sweet potato. A bunch of little guys like that. And the funny thing is, I don't have any earthworms in here now. So we may have had a bunch of potatoes and they may have all been eaten as they've been growing, along with the worms. Kind of seems that's what's happened. We'll have to figure something out for next year. Sometimes you get peanuts, sometimes you get the shells. We'll go through and comb through this a little better in the morning when we can see. But then we got quite a bit more to harvest. We still have a few left from last year, and I think we'll make pretty good slips. So we'll try again. You can't all be winners. All right. Hi, welcome back to the garden. Today is Sunday, October 16th. The weather event we're going to have is going to be much more severe than they originally thought. We're going to have multi-hours well below freezing. It got dark on us last night, so we didn't get all these hills pulled. But with my broken leg, we didn't plant nearly as many hills. And with the heat and the drought we had, we just didn't get very big ones. And this garden was a green oasis, attracted more things than we wanted. We had hills. I mean, things came in. I think this is moles and voles. Came in and just gnawed on these. We had several hills just like that. And we're still getting a few, I got a couple hills left. It did get dark on us last night. If these aren't gnawed on, they should be pretty good. Well, we might have found our hill. It's not all lost. Now I'm just happy with that. These are nice potatoes. That's beautiful. This is a nice hill. So there's really no rhyme or reason. We didn't do anything different. The deep mulch is still the deep mulch. And I've heard it said, sometimes you get the peanuts, sometimes you get the shells. And there's always next year. And I'm sure my wife will come out here and say, you missed this one or that one. So that's not a bad little hill right there. Oh, still got more. This is a pretty good little hill. And the mold didn't quite get to this one yet. Those will all be fine. This is a great little hill. Oh, come on. Come on. But they grew deep this year. A lot deeper than... that guy was in here eating that last night. One of the things, and I can see his hole right there. One of the things I didn't do this year is I didn't put the juicy fruit gum if I saw a trail. I think I was actually thinking they were going to take care of the grub worms. But you know what else we found in this patch? I don't have any earthworms. Now we marked with our bamboo stakes where we planted these slips without any roots on them. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. Now I know this turmeric's going to go, so we're going to take it up. Oh, that smells so good. All right, we got some nice little turmeric roots growing here. Not a bad little turmeric harvest. I'm not going to mess with this here. Some of this stuff I'm going to do pretty quick. We can go ahead and clean this up in the house later after it gets dark. I want to get the stuff out of the ground. So all I'm going to do here, just with our cut and drop, I'm just going to cut the leaves off and leave them out here in the garden. I'll go ahead and process this turmeric later on. There you go. That's ready to go in. I'm going to be kind of quick about all of this. If we find anything decent, I'll show you. But we got squash and tomato. We got volunteer squash and tomato growing in here. It's going to take me a second to sort through all of this. But even right here, should have been a potato there. I think they've been eaten as they've been growing. So far, at the end of the roots, they've just been gnawed on. The moles and voles are well fed in this garden this year. Yeah, they were eating them as they were growing. But I still haven't found any earthworms, so I think they've been eating our earthworms too. Well, check this out. You really don't know what you have till you have emergency picking. And I think this is 3 volunteer tomatoes that we just let sprawl. We've already got a big bowl full, but check this out. I started in on the other side. I'm just clearing vines so I can get to the sweet potatoes. I think all's lost, but look at the volunteers. The red ones. I had no idea these were underneath there. But something did, because we got a few of these off over the side that have been eating pretty good. These are all free. We didn't plant them. I didn't tend them. I didn't do anything to them. Just kind of ignored them. Well, it looks like all the sweet potatoes were eaten under the vines that we planted without roots. They made great vines, but look what we got for free. You just never know. Every year's just a little different. And there's always next year. Well, I'm not going to complain about this. These are beautiful. These are just down here on the ground. So you don't really need to trellis up your tomatoes, but they're a lot easier to get. These, I knew we had some tomatoes in here. I had no idea how many. But I want to go ahead and save this. And what we're going to want to do is prune this back down towards the ground. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time. So what I want to do, see where it's in the ground. We're going to come up a couple Ys, so we're just going to be brutal and cut the whole top right off. Where are you? Fortunately, this didn't have time to set fruit, but hopefully we'll be able to overwinter this and get some nice fruit. Take out all these lower ones. Don't need any of those. Now we can see what we got to work with. Sweet Mad Hatter. We'll get to you in a second. Just a little bit. Shovel down. Pop it up. What roots break are fine, because we're going to trim those back a little bit anyhow. I'm going to trim off these feeder roots. I'll finish pruning this up while I got it up. Don't need any of that growth. You can even take this down smaller, but I kind of like the fact that we got a few little Ys there. Bring in a container. Push your roots down in there. We're going to just bury it right to the crown. Go ahead and backfill it with its own soil. A little bit out of the hole. Snug that down in. We'll give that a drink of water when we bring it in. And there you go, 1 Carolina Reaper, ready for the winter. Now if you don't have a container, a bucket will work just fine. The same thing, you just pop it up. This one doesn't have near the feeder roots as the other one. Put it down in your bucket. Make sure the roots are down. We'll go ahead and backfill with some of its own soil right out of the hole. There you go. Well, here's today's haul. It's not a huge amount. These are all really nice potatoes. We also got some nice turmeric. We got a nice little batch of peppers. And everybody remembers the very first one that came in volunteer. This was only in the ground about this deep. That must have been what protected it from the vole. This is a pretty good haul of volunteer tomatoes. While we still have time, I'm going to go ahead and start taking all of these off. Round 2. I wish we had a little more time, but instead of losing all these, they'll go ahead and ripen on in the house. We've got a lot of options. I am going to go ahead and leave some of these littler ones on. If the forecast is wrong, they'll still have time to come on. And I got a ton of little ones in the house already, so I think it's worth the gamble. I'm definitely going to have to make the trellis a little taller next year, simply because it's easier to pick when you can grab them. Digging in through here, I mean, I've got this bucket almost full already. I don't want to put too much weight in there. I don't want to crush the ones on the bottom. Valerie is waiting to show you a tote full of red tomatoes. But there you go, there's a 5-gallon bucket full of green tomatoes. I bet we can make something good out of that. Oh. Now I do want to thank you for stopping by the garden and help me get in some of this stuff before it freezes. Hope you come by tomorrow and help me finish this up. Till next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.